Why? Hello and welcome everybody. Also good morning. So today I wanted to kind of go ahead and run down my plans or my thoughts on the last two ascendancies I have kind of boiled everything down to. So my pick for, I guess, league starting POE2 is either going to be between the Bloodmage, which is a witch, or it's going to be between a Chronomancer, which is a sorceress. Originally, I was thinking more so on Infernalist, but I don't know, the Infernalist stuff looks kind of cool, but I don't really know. It's really hard to make an honest decision without getting to see all of the notables, you know what I mean? Especially because with some of them, you have no idea what is what. So let me give you a prime example of what I'm sort of talking about. Bloodmage, which is over here. Again, Bloodmage is from the Witch, so both of them start right over here, right? Bloodmage is one of the unique ascendancies where you have to take this first node, right? No matter if you want to branch left, if you want to branch right, if you want to branch mid, it does not matter. You have to take this node. What this is going to do is this brings identity to the Bloodmage. This grants you the Life Remnant skill. Life Remnant is basically, it creates, I guess, like these little globes, or these little shards on the floor. I think it's whenever you kill enemies or your minions die, and as you pick them up, you can actually go past your life cap. So if you have 1k life, you can go up to 2k life. Now, this is kind of like I'll be honest, a little bit of a red flag for me. I've never been a big fan of like having to play a little mini game in the middle of a boss fight. For example, maybe I hit the boss, and as I chip his health, he's dropping life remnants, and I have to like kind of go ahead and navigate and pick them up, and then I get hit because of it, right? Now, obviously I'm thinking of the worst case scenario here, but that is a scenario I can see occurring. What I'm curious is if you end up just being a lot more tanky on a build like this versus your average caster, and because of that you can take the occasional hit. I'm not totally sure. So that's where this skill kind of lies. There's like two more, I guess, like red flags for me. And again, they're not real flags, it's just like something to take notice of, right? I believe in the demonstration they show Witch with a lot of minions, and obviously as we see, there's not necessarily anything minion related here, but I do believe Sanguimancy benefits from minions dying. I think when minions die, they proc a life remnant. I don't know if I want to like throw minions into my build for the sake of like automating Sanguimancy or not. I think I would rather play a more direct caster. The other thing about this is they showed this character with a lot of like bone spells, right? You can even see in the background, right? There's like some bloody bones. When I go over to POE2 DB, and again, probably not a complete list here, when I search by physical spell, all I can really see are about what, 1, 2, 3, 4 damage skills, and you have like Bone Offering and Vulnerability. But of these are also minion related, right? Like Bone Storm. Bone Storm is a spell, but it says it debuffs enemies, making them take extra physical from an attack. So that applies, in my head, that makes me think, okay, your minions hit. So then I'm wondering, is Blood Mage just a generic caster and you choose to do whatever you want with it? And I have kind of settled on maybe playing a cold-based Blood Mage. One, it's kind of a cool theme, a cold Blood Mage, and number two, I think it would fit the playing very close to enemies because you're naturally tankier. I imagine it'll be closer for when the Sanguimancy procs. Interesting note, you can actually put support gems, I believe, because it says Grant Skill Life Remnant on Sanguimancy, and I'm curious what type of support gems you could put on a skill that is healing you, that's just proccing off a mob. So that's kind of, I don't think it would. Do you imagine if you could put like the LMP, like lesser multiple projectile, and you proc like 3 Sanguimancies at once? I'm very curious actually on that front. Also curious on all the other nodes, right? We have Vitality Siphon, which I'll be honest, there is almost no spell leech on the whole tree. If not, there is basically no. I'll type in leech. The only thing that pops up on leech from the top side at all here is in the shadow, which this is where monk starts. And there's mana on kill, mana leech, poison, recover 2% life on killing a poison enemy. You get the gist. So I'm curious if Blood Mage ends up feeling like a really cozy ascendancy, or if I may be overestimating how good the leech is, because maybe you can just like get it on gear, for example. So this is one thing I'm curious about. I see a lot of people struggling with sustain in PoE2. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the Blood Mage. Maybe getting to play a really tanky, like mid-range caster. Some of these other nodes, like Gore Spike has increased critical damage bonus per 20 life. One of the cool things, I'm hoping Gore Spike directly interacts with Sanguimancy, but then you have this node here, Crimson Power. I believe Crimson Power is kind of like the, what is it, the Apostate chest in current PoE from Uber Cortex, something similar, where you gain energy shield from the equipped body armor as your extra maximum life, which then I assume feeds into your Sanguimancy, which also is benefiting off of Gore Spike. Now, on top of Gore Spike, I don't remember the exact cold skill here. Let me try to think of exactly what it was. There was a cold support gem that actually made it. So, is it Biting Frost? Ah, this one. Supports any skill that hits enemies, causing them to critically hit frozen enemies, but consume their freeze. Cannot support skills that consume freeze. So this is like a scenario I can kind of see working out really well for a build like this, where I believe we listened in the interview with Ziz, with Jonathan, that achieving like perfect crit, aka 90%, 100%, is going to be a lot more difficult, or there would be more drawbacks, I think is the term they used, compared to current PoE. So I feel like something like that would set up really well for this archetype. Anyway, moving on, because we don't know what this node is, we don't know what this is, we don't know what this is, don't know what this is, so a lot of cool stuff to be discovered. That's my idea on Bloodmage, and I can maybe talk a little bit more about that later. Now, the next one is Chronomancer. Chronomancer is also a really cool theme that I really like. Oh, sorry, one other thing to talk about really fast with the Bloodmage. So Sanguimancy also makes it so your skills gain a base life cost equal to mana. This means we get to build life regen. So we're kind of, we're treading on familiar territory, if you understand what I mean. I'm a big life regen fan. While also gaining leech, right? Okay. Anyway, going back to the Chronomancer. So, Chronomancer, really cool. I'm a big fan of these more unique style casters. I'm a caster Andy, but I love to play anything. I especially love more unique things. I've always been a fan of like mirror images and stuff. I don't think that they will have this necessarily. Anyway, let's discover. So first thing, I think we start here, right? It looks like we start here on the hourglass, and you can branch down for 2 points. So you get Temporal Rift here, and in current PoE, I forgot what Temporal Rift is called. It's literally called, it's called Temporal Rift. I was thinking Volatile Reversal from Epoch. Current Temporal Rift is kind of weird because it's such a zoom meta that you don't really want to go back in time. You want to just keep going forward in PoE, and I can completely understand that. And most times, either your character is going to get one shot or you're not, depending on how you're building for boss fights. The Temporal Rift's a little tricky. Also, it reserves mana in PoE now, right? I think so. PoE2, I can see this being really helpful when you are progressing boss fights. You know, think of your first ascendancy as Temporal Rift, and anytime you take a big boss hit, I mean, I don't know what the cooldown will be, maybe 15, 20 seconds. You take a big boss hit, you just hit Temporal Rift, and you effectively negated the boss hit. Problem I can see here, I don't know if I want to be playing a mini game where I'm trying, I don't know if I really have to pay that much attention to like I'm running into something and then like I see the boss attack, I Temporal Rift, and then I end up in another mechanic. I don't think that that will happen, especially on the earlier side of things, but that whenever you're losing control of your character for a second, it can be a little tricky. One of the other advantages I see with this is I see a lot of people when they play PoE2, they're treating it the same way as PoE, where they're rushing, they're pulling everything except their ZDPS, no HP, have like 11 armor, and they're on a 2-link. Well, this would be very beneficial because when you pull, if you get trapped, if you don't die instantly, you could actually just rift backwards, and now you have like a cone of monsters in front of you. I mean, obviously that would be a really annoying clear meta, but just for getting your character set up, I could see this being very forgiving. Speaking of forgiving, they also have Ultimate Command here, which grants you time freeze. Remember, both of these are granting skills, which means you can support them with gems, or utility gems, right? Support gems. Time freeze is quite literally, you press the button and it freezes time. So this is also a very cool skill. And remember, these are only 2 points, so you can get 4. So we still have access to this, no idea what it is. This, no idea what it is. Same here, no idea. These are connected like that. You also have this, no idea what that is. No idea what this is. This over here is reset time, so you can reset all your cooldowns, I believe. I don't really know if I want to play that. Kind of cool, don't get me wrong, but that's not really... I want to slow everything down, not speed everything up, right? That's kind of what I want to do. And I was also curious how a cold chrono would be. You would have so much control, right? You would have the control of being able to stop time on your command, and you would be building up freezing. So that's another cool archetype. But I'll be honest, just from the explanations, I feel like my heart is speaking more to the Bloodmage. So I think I'm leaning more on Bloodmage. But that's just pretty much the last two characters I kind of wanted to run down. Of course, I want to play everything. Everything looks so exciting. But we got to start somewhere, right? We got to start our journey somewhere. And I feel like Bloodmage might be it. Because otherwise, if you can't get good sources of leech across the board, I'm curious how the caster survivability is going to be. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. Hope you guys had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. You know, I know we've done a lot of these what are you starting ones, so I guess between Bloodmage and Chrono, what do you guys think? Anyway, catch you guys all later. Very excited for POE2. Just a few more days. We're almost there, prepping a 24-hour live stream. So, catch you guys later. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Don't forget, if you liked the video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, you can catch me streaming live every day at twitch.tv/Pohx. Forgot it for a second there. See you guys all later.